What's up everyone, Devin here, and today's video is going to be on the Iron Samurai 4, the new Signature Series disc for Eagle McMahon in Discmania's new Chroma plastic. I'm excited to throw this disc for a couple reasons. The main one being, I didn't really throw the Iron Samurai 3 much, and I'm really curious to see how this flies compared to that Iron Samurai 3, and then as well as the C-line MD3s that they've come out with in the past year. In addition to the Iron Samurai 4, I obviously have an Iron Samurai 3, and I have that regular C-line MD3. And this one, the gradient die, is done by Burdogi Disc Dies, so I'll leave them linked in the description below, so check them out on Instagram.
Alright, it's windy today. It is a left to right tailwind, and it's probably between 18 and 20 miles an hour constant, and I would say probably 30 mile an hour gusts. So we're gonna get these shots out, and of course starting off with the Iron Samurai 4, let's see what we can do. So with this wind, once it ends up stalling out and losing speed, starts fading back, the wind is just going to drop it down just like it did right there. So let's get the Iron Samurai 3 and that regular C-line MD3 for a bit of a comparison. Very similar with that Iron Samurai 3 as well. Now my last one, the nice gradient die on the MD3. Now that C-line one looked like it almost had a bit more glide and was able to pan back a little bit more once it started to fade, but that also could be the wind letting up a little bit. Alright, so I didn't really like those throws, so we're going to re-throw them. I'm going to try and keep them lower and a little bit more direct at the basket out there. Not a whole lot of fade on that one. About the same thing there. And of course I threw it right into a tree. But the thing is so far, I'd say I think the Iron Samurai 4 flies a little bit straighter, whereas the C-line MD3 and even the Iron Samurai 3 do get a little bit of turn during their flight before flattening out and having that little bit of overstable finish. So even after hitting the tree, the Iron Samurai 4 still went 330. The good old C-line MD3 got 338, and then the Iron Samurai 3 actually went 360 feet, the furthest, but I think that Iron Samurai 4 probably would have gotten pretty close without hitting that tree. So I'm gonna get the Iron Samurai 4 on a couple more throws and compare it most to the Iron Samurai 3, as they're both the Signature Series discs for Eagle McMahon from about last year's time frame and then this year. So I'm gonna try and get them on some anhyzers in this wind, and hopefully they stay in shot. So, with that flight, of course, I hit another tree. What more can you expect? But it really held that anhyzer in this wind, but it looked like it was starting to pull out, which isn't too bad. So let's get the Iron Samurai 3 on that same line. Definitely didn't get quite the same line with that Iron Samurai 3, and it faded out just a little bit faster because it was on less of an anhyzer. But I think they're pretty similar in stability, but I would say that the Iron Samurai 4 still seems to hold a straighter path, whereas the Iron Samurai 3 does tend to have a little bit of turn, in its flight overall. So let's grab them back, and I'm gonna give you that forehand that all of you always enjoy. So be right back. All right, let's get those forehands out for you. So hopefully I'll do it right the first time. That was garbage.
That was garbage.
That was garbage. That was garbage.
And once with the Iron Samurai 3. Probably the worst wind imaginable for me to throw a right hand forehand in. This left to right tail not only lifts them, but just throws them over the right side. So I'm gonna hop out of the wind and give you my final thoughts on the new Iron Samurai 4.
It comes down to is just another MD3. The plastic is a little bit different, but it's not anything brand new that's going to be revolutionary to how you throw your shot, or whether this disc is going to fly completely different than a regular C-line MD3. They're going to be very similar, and I think that's what it's going to be with a lot of the Signature Series discs. It'll be a slightly different plastic, but it's going to have a very similar result to what's already there. That's not to say it isn't a good idea to buy these discs and help support the player, but if you're looking for something a little bit more budget, I think a C-line MD3 will do quite well, and then you don't have to spend the extra few dollars on a disc that pretty much just looks different. As always, like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to check out Berdogi Disc Dyes on Instagram. I'll leave them linked below. And check out Neon Black Clothing. And don't forget to use my code NEONDIVINE for a 15% discount. And I'll catch you all in the next video.